Welcome to a quick video of my beginning of the deconstruction of a Toro Timemaster. Now, I originally started this without any intention of filming it, and after I pulled it apart I thought I might as well. My plan is to refurb the cutting deck. I'm going to wire wheel it back, or a lot of it back to bare steel, coat it up with a product called Pour 15 and then reattach and see how it goes. But I thought I'd pull it all apart, lay it all out, and sort of give anyone interested in a viewing of what it looks like. To pull your mower deck completely apart, you'll need 5 sockets, 3/8, ½ inch, 9/16, 5/8 and a 3/4. 3/4 only required to crack the spindle bolts, the top spindle bolts, otherwise not really necessary. 3/8 is only for a lot of the trim pieces, and the bulk will be the half, 9/16, and I think 5/8 is actually only, 9/16 is actually only the wheel bolts. Anyway, I'll run through the parts. Got our front axle guides, so our front axle clips into these, and these bolt to the steel components that go under this front plastic cover, bolt to the front of the deck. Here we have our front baffle, sits inside the front deck there. The 4 bolts, you can see a fair amount of corrosion on them. The baffle is removed. I think a lot of people remove it because they reckon it actually increases the deck clogging, and that's what I want to see a reduction in. I will strip it and paint it, but I might reserve reattaching it. Front wheels, double bearing wheels. You can see, I'll replace the bearings because you can see this one is, I would say, shagged. It's rough. Grime has been allowed to get past the dust seal and the bearing is destroyed, whereas this one spins a fair bit better, but it's hardly great. Front blades. When I removed the blades, one of them was seized so badly that the blade key shattered as soon as I removed it, and the other one was rusted right into the spindle bolt, which is a real pain to get out of, but eventually got rid of it. Spindle bolts, these go into the shaft of the spindle here, so you can see where the blade key latches in there, and then the other side of the blade key sits in the bar blade. Spindles, doesn't seem to be a difference of which size. You can see there's a well and truly, that one's caked. This one I've given a brush clean and tidied it up. I should touch on the spindle bolts. You see we've got 2 different lengths. The longer one is the spindle bolt for the drive belt, because the drive belt sits on top of that, so you need the extra length there. Move on to the blade belts and the pulleys for them. Both toothed. Condition appears fair, and I'm not going to replace them. Drive belt, drive pulley, and brake seems fair. I will give that just the lightest sand to remove a bit of the surface rust. We'll move on to our idle pulleys. These are all the components for the idle pulleys removed off the deck. These are the Timemaster idle pulleys, as opposed to the Turfmaster, the commercial offering. They are light and cheap, and generally a failure point for this mower, so I will be replacing them with the Alibaba versions of the Turfmaster offerings. Wash port removed, side port removed, spindle bolts, you can see one of them certainly allowed far more penetration of rust. some of them are quite rusty, these are quite gunked up. Onto the cutting deck itself. I mean, this is how much sort of, well, this isn't the worst of it, but how much gunk and corrosion is just underneath where the mower body bolts to the cutting deck. I mean, the deck itself is only attached to the body by 3 bolts. One that runs through, I think it's about there on the cutting deck, and then 2 either side. And then it's further attached by the spindles, so there's quite a few mounting points. You do have to drop the spindles off entirely, and then 3 bolts to remove the deck. But I mean, if you're going to run this for a period of years, it would be worth pulling it off. Have a look at the underside of the cutting deck. I mean, this is probably a pretty standard cutting deck. You can see where the front baffle plate was, and then you can see where the spindles were attached. Rear baffle is welded in and fixed, so there's no removing that. A lot of surface rust. At this point I've just hit it with like a penetrant WD-40 to sort of reduce it. There was a fair amount of build-up of crap everywhere, and that's gone, but I will plan to wire this back to bare metal on the underneath, and then everywhere, whether it's flaky, I will wire it back again, and then yeah, pull 15. Yeah, it's flaky metal like that. And this is, yeah, you never see this, but that's how much crap's just sitting there. We'll transition to the body of the mower. This is all aluminium, so steel deck, aluminium body. See our rear axle, rear drive pinion, height adjust lever, everything else as it should be. Tip the body back. This is for a look underneath. Nice and easy to get a look underneath with the cutting deck gone. So, gearbox, tension spring for the blade brake. So there'll be a drive or blade brake release cable, and then the tension spring to put the blade brake back on. Drive pulley to connect to the gearbox, and then your blade drive pulley. Something that is a real shit about this mower is, I mean, these should be reversed. You're far more likely to do the blade drive pulley, I think, than the belt drive pulley. And to replace the top one, the bottom one has to be removed, which is a little bit of a pain in the butt when the deck is in the way. This is the 3rd deck mount bolt that I was referring to. So one goes in here, one goes in here, and then the 3rd one comes through the center. And then the deck attaches on each side for the spindle. And then these 2 as well, actually. I didn't even think about them for the oh no, they don't go through. That's just from the top. Alright, we'll transition over to rear wheels. So rear wheels, got our, basically just a dust cap, but it's not a perfect seal, but it's pretty good. Notches just in there to create a pretty good seal. Pull it off, put our drive cog, and it's up to the drive pinion here. All pretty free moving. I mean, not free moving, so the cogs are free moving. And then, yeah, bolts, or our nuts and spacers there. These are our 2 deck bolts that bolt in here, and then to the rear of the deck there. Anyway, all in all, it'll be a tidy little project that I will get started on in the next couple of days. Anyway, thanks for watching.